Welcome to the Thunderdome! 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Because this week, I am joined by Matt Birchler. Matt, how are you?
Hey, Chris, I'm shook. I wasn't expecting this.
This week, we are the Thunderdome because Niléane is not here. So it's just the two of us. And we can make it if we try. But really, only one of us is going to get to leave. The other one will be permanently stuck in Riverside.
Oh.
At least until next week. Actually, no, it'd be 2 weeks because next week I'm getting the new roof. So we're delaying the recording. Yeah.
That would be an interesting challenge. Stay in the Riverside call until next podcast.
That would be awkward, but like, if I wasn't the person stuck in the Riverside call, I would periodically just join it just to see what was happening.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be interesting. Okay. All right. We have a show to do, and you put in all the tiny topics. Thank you. I did not get a chance. I literally woke up, and I was like, I have something happening this morning. And I was like, oh, it's comfort zone. I better get prepping.
Yeah. We have a feedback form, famously. Always mention it. Link in the show notes. And people give us feedback. And so we have a little bit of a backlog to get through. So I wanted to mention a couple things people brought up. The first is just a shout out. Wanted to do a shout out to Max and Joe, who listen every week, and they also bought some of the Palestine Cola that Niléane recommended. So they did not say whether it was good or bad. They just said said they got it. So I don't know, but shout out to them.
Hi, Max and Joe. Hope you guys are well. Hope you enjoyed the cola, though. I would like to say the official Comfort Zone recommendation is a Diet Dr. Pepper or Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar with cream soda. That is the official Comfort Zone recommendation.
It's a recommendation for sure.
No, it's the official one. That is the party line.
Okay. I'm not willing to die on this hill. Also, Henry from the feedback form has a question for us. Henry says, I'm seeing rumors of a new MacBook Pro that may have cellular and other rumors that a following MacBook Pro might have a touchscreen. So let's assume both of these things actually happen, and in 2027 we have a MacBook Pro with cellular and a touchscreen. Do we have an iPad? They did specify they knew the answer for Niléane, which was a resounding no, as it remains, she remains not owning an iPad, but wanted to know for us. So I can go first and say, please. Until Apple releases a tablet-style Mac, I will still have an iPad.
Yeah. I think that would be the same thing for me, because while the MacBook Pro having a touchscreen would be interesting until you can detach it, and for audio listeners, I'm literally detaching my iPad and holding it and using it as a tablet, that doesn't remain, that doesn't make sense for me. But it does really make me think that, like, at some point, I think the Mac and the iPad are going to converge. I really do think the Mac and the iPad, not 5 years from now, or maybe 5 years from now.
I'm coming around to this more.
I am too. The more and more I think about, like, if Apple really does do a touchscreen Mac and they do kind of start to overhaul Mac OS to be a little more touch friendly, and I know you've done the work and shown that, like, yes, it is already to a point where you could touch the thing.
Most things, yeah.
Most things, but, like, you know, they start to add interactions and stuff like that, and gestures and stuff like that via touchscreen, you know, via that. I don't think right now it makes sense, but maybe 5 years from now, maybe 10 years from now, the iPad and the Mac converge. But that was not the question.
It was not
the question. The question was, would we still have an iPad after this mythical MacBook Pro with cellular and touchscreen converge? And I have said for years now, a big reason why I like working from the iPad is those two things, the touchscreen and cellular. I think I would still have an iPad because, you know, it's still not a tablet. The MacBook would still not be a tablet, but it would get harder and harder to justify the iPad lifestyle if that MacBook Pro did exist.
Yeah. Okay, so we would still have our iPads. Would I buy a new iPad? I don't know. I feel like my M4 iPad Pro is going to last me my entire adult life. Like, I don't feel like I feel like I could use this forever and I'd be very happy.
That's going to be the 2018 iPad Pro, where it lasts people like 100%. 6 or 7 years. Like, yes. It's going to be one of those iPads that just sticks around for a really long time.
Yeah. It's so good. And the final one, another question for us. I'm calling this an icebreaker question. It's kind of an end of the show question, but we'll do it at the start just to get the ice broken. It's from longtime listener, several time writer inner, Flowgrow. Nailed it. And their question is, what is the first app in your purchase history in the App Store? Now, I looked this up. I'll give you a second to pull it up because it actually takes a little longer than it used to in the App Store search. But I looked this up before we recorded. In 2007, before the App Store even existed, in my purchase history, I actually have Tetris, which I think was some special thing for the iPod.
Oh.
So I'm not counting that necessarily.
Okay.
But the first app that I downloaded for an iPod Touch, because I didn't have an iPhone at the time, was, very unexciting, Pandora. And the second was IGN's app. Right?
Yeah, you need that hot gaming news.
Listen, there were 30 apps you had to download. You downloaded what you could.
Yes. So mine is not going to be correct because the Apple ID that I am using now with those purchases is not my original Apple ID. I had an issue with my original Apple ID, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but I kind of abandoned it. But it wasn't that big of a deal because I didn't have that much stuff on it. So for this Apple ID, the original thing is Flickr for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
And then the second thing, which is hilarious, is Remember the Milk.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, I this is not my original Apple ID. So this one started back in 2009.
Okay.
Which I believe is after I got an iPod Touch. I already had an iPod Touch at this time. Okay. I don't know if this is when the App Store came out.
App Store came out in 2008.
Okay, so this definitely wasn't it. Okay, yeah.
So
because I had an iPod Touch when the App Store came, I had the original iPod Touch, and then I paid the $15 to get iPhone OS 2.
Yes.
To get the App Store.
Yes.
On
the thing right below Pandora is the iPhone 2.0 software update, which I had to pay for because iPod. Weird stuff back in the day.
Yep. It used to be $15 to upgrade your iOS.
Crazy. And we thought that was cheap compared to what Mac OS was, because it was like $130 for many years and then dropped to 30. And it's a whole thing.
Yeah. It's software. OS updates are weird, man. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird history.
Whew. We used to pay for them. Now we pray we don't even get them. Okay.
All right. This week on Cozy Zone, I needed my co-host's help. I asked Matt and Niléane for some free graphic design advice, and oh boy, did I get it. We came up with a style guide for my YouTube channels, which is already reflected in my current YouTube videos, but you should go listen to that episode. And for those that don't know, Cozy Zone is our members-only podcast where we put out an extra episode of the show every single week, not monthly, weekly. So there's 2 episodes of us every single week. So we bless your ears with our vocal tones.
Are there rumors?
Twice.
Are there rumors we're only doing this monthly? Do people think we're doing this monthly? We're doing weekly bonus episodes. People are enjoying them.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the spicy stuff comes.
Oh,
we get Chris
spicy.
uncensored in these episodes.
Yeah. We did before this. We did a Star Wars tier list, and
violence.
I gave up bleeping it. You may not want to listen to it around children. I gave up bleeping it when I was editing it. I was just like, "Yep, nope, we're just gonna keep moving on," because that's members only. Is it's our After Dark show.
Not officially, not usually. Usually the kids are fine to listen.
Usually, but usually I bleep it. But that one, it was us extra spicy, and I just wanted to leave it in. All right, we should get into the main show.
Yes,
Matt, what do you got for us this week? It's a little bit of a weird week. Normally, this would be your week off, but Niléane is not here, so we pulled you off the bench.
Yes, so I wanted to pick something that would make Niléane yell at her iPhone while she is listening to it. So that she has follow-up for days next week.
Oh boy, is she going to.
So I wanted to talk about AI from a couple different angles. I am a Mac first guy who also uses an iPad. You're an iPad first guy who also uses a Mac.
Mm-hmm.
We're
I have
opposites.
both sitting in front of me right now, actually.
Yeah. Same, actually. So I wanted to talk about some of the things I'm using these AI tools for, how I'm finding them useful, and kind of how it feels like they've really taken over what is exciting about software on the desktop. And I was curious how it feels from the iPad user perspective, because some of the things I do just don't exist on the iPad, and I was wondering just if there's any differences there. So my world is broken into two silos, two wolves. What is it? There's two somethings inside you.
Sheep and wolf clothing, or wolves and sheep clothing?
No, I'll put a thing in the doobly-doo. There's something.
The doobly-doo. Oh, that's a new one.
Yeah. I'm stealing that from Hank Green or John Green.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
So in my work life, I do some things, and then at home, I do other things, which are increasingly code. But at work, which is the thing I don't talk about as much, I'm actually using these tools quite a bit, and I'm finding them quite useful, and they're making my job easier in genuine ways. I feel like I've lost some of the audience already by just saying that they're actually useful, but I've been at this for years. I genuinely think these things are bringing some value. So the first thing I'm using is note-taking assistance. So I don't know how much I'm supposed to say about what we do at work. I don't know.
Don't say what you do. Just my general, when I had a day job, my general rule of thumb was like, I can talk about how I do things, but I don't talk about what I do.
Yeah. So meeting notes. This is a thing that haunts me at work. We talked about that, and we said, oh God, what did we say? What did we decide? I think we decided this. Do we have any record of that? No.
Oh God, I remember those.
Chris is having flashbacks to his corporate world.
This is literally my old day job. Corporate life is my personal like Vietnam PTSD moments. like all along the Watchtower is playing right now. Like choppers are flying in, napalm's going off. Like, this is my flashbacks. Ugh.
So again, without mentioning these specific tools, in case that matters at all, there are several tools that help do this. There are bots that will join the meeting with you, and they will have access to like the people in the meeting, so they'll know who says specific things. I won't have to like guess at like who said they would do this thing. This was their action item or whatever. So it is able to accurately like say this person said they would do this, and this person said they would do this. And it also has a full transcript that's searchable and goes into a web interface where you can say, when did we talk about this? And you can find the meetings. That's very useful. I use that on a regular basis. I also take those notes and I put them, the meetings I'm in, I put them into an Obsidian vault. So I have a Obsidian on my work computer where I just save the meeting notes as markdown files, and those just go into the same folder, and I just have this big thing, and I can search in Obsidian, and I can use like Claude Code locally to ask questions about it and find things. So meeting notes, awesome. Summarizing them and the full transcript, beautiful stuff. The other thing I do, I mentioned Obsidian. I think I've talked about this before, so I won't go too deep into it. I have all of my work in Obsidian on my work computer. It's all markdown files. So the projects I'm working on, I have all the info in there. I work in payments, so if Visa and MasterCard have documents that are important, I save them to that vault, and they're searchable there. So highly recommend if you're like keeping track of projects and have a lot of stuff going on. An Obsidian vault is wonderful. And because it's all text files, you can use something like Claude Code or Cursor or something, whatever, to look at that folder, and then you can do AI stuff with it. So that's kind of the big stuff I'm using at work. It doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm in so many meetings.
Matt has sent us screenshots of like his calendar.
Yeah.
And it is insane the amount of meetings he is at. Like, it's always back to back to, like, his calendar is full of meetings.
Yeah.
And like there's like usually like one little block in the week, and that's where we throw Comfort Zone at.
Yes. We record on we record on Fridays in part because that is the day where I can slot out a little bit of time to make it work. But yes, meetings are very much the job in a way. So communicating and stuff and understanding when we made decisions is very important. And truly, like, having all my information in one place, even if you're not using the AI stuff, I would recommend using Obsidian at work because it's very, very good. And it's all local, so there shouldn't be any security issues.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's my home life, where I don't do another thing I do at work is I mentioned visa documents. They love a PDF that's 1,000 pages long and is not very clearly explained and is hard to search. So throwing that into Claude is what I tend to use, and asking it questions on like, where is this talked about? Can you help me understand this? It is very, very helpful for those sorts of things. So yeah, the specs in the payment space are maybe intentionally confusing from those big companies. Anyway, I won't go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's where I can see you getting in trouble if you,
Yeah. But at home, I'm also using AI stuff. I'm using it largely for coding. Shocker. I don't know if you've noticed, I've released a few apps. I'm trying to become the new David Smith. That is obviously the goal. And it's to the point in one of the Mac Stories weeklies that went out. They talked about an update, and they're like, surprise, surprise, guess who has another app update out? I was like, I appreciate the sass.
You just need a TikToker to make a viral thing, and then you will be the next.
Oh my God.
Smith.
Yeah, forget all the stuff I just said. If one of these things goes viral, I'll just be doing this full time. But anyway, I'm doing that. I'm using Claude Code. Claude Code is the GOAT. Claude Code is awesome. Specifically, the ecosystem they've built up. Again, I don't want to go too deep into this, but the ecosystem is outstanding. I can open it in my terminal on my computer and work directly in my local files. Works great. And their web interface is incredible. The use case that I love is when I'm out and about and I get an email or a social media message that's like, hey, this thing's broken, or this would be a great little feature to have. Instead of me having to like make a task to like do this later or to just remember it, which I would probably do or try to do, I can copy their request. I can go over to the Claude app. I can find the project that they're talking about. I can paste that in, and then I can just add my own context of like, this is, I think, what's going on. This is how we should fix it. Go. And then I put my phone back in my pocket. I keep walking the dog. I do whatever I'm doing. And then when I get home, there's a new branch that I can test. I can see if it worked. And with the current models, 90% of the time, it just works right away. So I'm able to like handle these requests like very, very quickly, and also without like disturbing what I'm doing at the moment. Like I can have it, I can get it out of my head and move on with whatever I was working on, which is really nice. This morning, I was getting ready for work, getting dressed, shower, all that good stuff. And while I was doing that, it was coding up a new feature for quick reviews. It was great. It was so nice to just have it kind of like working in the background while I was able to do the things that I needed to do. So,
and are you doing that through the iOS app, or are you going to like Claude.com or whatever their website is?
I'm doing both. It works exactly the same in both places, and the chats persist. So you could start it on your phone and then open the web browser on your Mac or iPad, and it's there as well. And it's like, if it's still working, you get it in progress. So it's really great. It's really nice. Nice. That's interesting. Okay. Interesting. So I know ChatGPT has their Codex thing, and there's other options out there. But like, I think the thing about Claude Code I like is that anywhere I am, I can kick it off. Whereas with like the ChatGPT one, you have to be at your Mac and only your Mac. That's the only place that works. So yeah. Also, and this is going to terrify some people, I had a bug on my Quick Stuff website. And this is actually where it's pretty cool for the iPad. So I was on my iPhone, but this would have worked on the iPad as well. Someone reported a bug with one of the apps on Quick Stuff. I gave Claude on my phone the fix. Go do this. I saw the code that changed. It was very minimal, so it looked safe. I created a pull request for it. I, in GitHub, merged the pull request. It automatically deployed to my server, and the fix was there seconds later. And I didn't have to use a Mac. I was able to make a code change and publish an update to the web from my phone, which is crazy.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And you could do that from the iPad as well. Yeah, so it's pretty rad. And last thing I will say, as a developer, Apple's done a great job. We give Apple a hard time on a lot of things on this podcast. They've done a very good job with what they did in the OS 26 updates for their foundation model access and the speech analyzer. It's so good. It's so easy to work with. I do hope they both get better, and I have hopes that with the Gemini thing they're doing,
Partnership?
Pivot,
Partnership?
Yeah. Partnership. I'm hoping that we'll see like improvements there, and I'll get them for free. Air quotes, hopefully. This will be the year that I learn how many of these OS updates you truly do get for free, because I don't know. But they're genuinely awesome. Google did not have a solution for this for a while. It looks like they do have a better solution now that will match kind of both those things Apple does, but the device support isn't 100% there. It's like really good on Pixels, that they've started rolling it out on other devices like high-end Samsungs and the like, but it's a little messier there. But I think Apple's done a really good job with kind of how they've made the developer experience.
Yeah, because like for example, your transcription app can run on any iPhone that runs iOS 26 and any iPad that runs iPadOS 26.
Yes, exactly. And that's so much easier than it always comes back to the fragmentation question, I guess. If you're doing normal stuff on Android, it's totally fine. But if you're doing like cutting edge stuff, then yeah, it's still a weird thing.
Yeah.
So I was curious, what's it like on the iPad? Do you feel like the AI stuff is something that you like can't ignore, or is it there but it's not as big a deal? I'm curious where they are for you.
So yes, definitely can't ignore it, especially given what I do to make a living. Like you, I am pretty much all in on Claude. Not pretty much. I am all in on Claude. I've canceled ChatGPT. Just as a company, I'm not the biggest fan of Sam Altman. And then there's Perplexity. Don't like Perplexity.
You don't like Perplexity? I haven't heard
yeah,
this.
I've never mentioned this before. I don't like Perplexity. And their CEO, definitely doesn't have the second most punchable face in all of tech. Oh, God, I can't stand that guy. I really cannot stand that guy. And the thing that attracted me to Claude is their CEO has just like flat out come out and said, no, we're not doing generative AI. We're not doing image generation. We're not going to, rip off, artists and things like that. That's not what we're here for. We are making a tool to assist humans. We're not making a tool to replace humans. Whereas a lot of these other people, like the Perplexity CEO, has basically said, oh, yeah, you don't even need to watch YouTube anymore. You just talk to us because we ripped all of it off. Look at us. We're so funny.
I don't know why you want to punch him.
Yeah. So I am all in on Claude, and on the iPad, the Claude app is pretty good. I use it for pretty much whenever I have a question about something, whenever I want to search for something, I use it. My only complaint about Claude that it does that the thing that I like that ChatGPT does that I really wish Claude would do is ChatGPT gives the sources. So when you ask a question like, how would I make a sourdough starter kind of thing? ChatGPT would give you sources in line with its feedback, whereas Claude puts all of the sources down at the bottom and you have to click the sources button and then go through them. I really wish they would put the sources in line and just right next to it, because I like clicking on those sources. I like going to those original websites.
Oh, interesting. They do that on the desktop. It's a
Oh,
little surprising they don't do that on the iPad.
wait,
Huh.
really?
Or they pushed an update.
I've never seen them on the desktop, but hang on. I'm going through my chat history now, and I'm like trying to like find something.
I say this because literally today I was looking up some information and I was like, oh, these inline links are so convenient.
I wonder. Okay, that must be new because I haven't seen them.
Okay.
All right. That must be new. So I take that back. Anyways, they're okay. Whatever. So I like Claude for that. But like you said, Claude and AI stuff on the iPad is very different from AI stuff on the Mac. I can't have an assistant join a meeting with me and start taking notes because iPad sandbox limitations. I could, Claude Code, perfect example. Claude Code does not have access to the file system on iPad OS. There is a Claude Code tab in iPad OS in the app, and I've used it to make some drafts actions. Works perfect for that. But I can't have it browse my Obsidian Vault and be like, hey, give me a summary of all that stuff. Whereas I can do that on the Mac, and I'm going to start doing more of that because that was a great example that you brought up. So like there's huge limitations there that I find very like to be a big bummer. Like Claude Code on the Mac is, I cannot believe how good it is. It has been the thing that has been getting me to gravitate more towards the Mac when I sit down and work. Like Claude Code specifically has been the thing that has had me grabbing the MacBook Pro over the iPad Pro a lot lately. And it's really been giving me a lot of thoughts about like, I don't want to give up my iPad. Like I'm not going to give up my iPad. I'm flat out not. But it's definitely made me think about like even more now, like when do I grab the Mac versus when do I grab the iPad? And this has all been really like kind of new thoughts, because I just a couple weeks ago I put out a video about my Mac workflow in a post iPad OS 26 world, and in that video I talked about I just grab my iPad most of the time, but now like in the past couple of weeks it's probably been a 50-50 split because of tools like Claude Code being able to do things like with the file system in terminal that you just can't do in the iPad because it's limited.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. And obviously, Moltbot, OpenClaw. You can't run OpenClaw on an iPad, and I would recommend not even try.
Oh, I would not right now on February 6th, 2026. Do not run OpenClaw unless you really know what you are doing. And by really know what you are doing, you are a security expert. Because
to which point you would toss it into a fire because I don't even know if you know what you're doing. Claude, yeah.
If you know what you're doing, you would not install OpenClaw.
Exactly.
If you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't install OpenClaw. I know what I'm doing, and I'm a curious person, and I installed OpenClaw.
Oh, did you?
After about a day,
okay.
I uninstalled it because I started playing around, and I started looking around, and I'm like my email is public. So like if I did the email skill, somebody could easily do prompt injections.
Yeah.
Like too much of my life is public for something like OpenClaw. And I was just like, I can't, this spells disaster for me, because I was going to make a video about it. Yeah. And I was like, the minute I make a video about it, anyone that wanted to get access to, and like, it's happened to me before. Like I've had to change some stuff in my life. I've had to change my phone number because I've accidentally leaked my phone number.
Oh boy.
I changed my phone number a few years ago because I leaked my phone number in a video and people started trying to get into things. like, and that was when I was a much, much, much smaller channel. Like that was like pre 50,000 subscriber channel. Like, so I wouldn't even like now I wouldn't even want to mess with that stuff. Like, it's so
it's crazy.
What I will say is Claude on the iPad is a really useful utility. I use the project feature quite a bit. I use the project feature to go over contracts with me. I read every line to a contract, but it's nice having an extra set of eyes. I use it for some formatting stuff. I use it for a bunch of different things. I take the transcripts from your lovely transcript app.
Thank you.
I throw it into Claude, and I have it give me title and thumbnail suggestions. Now, most of the time, these aren't in my style. These are very general, like what would work on YouTube. But YouTube now has A/B testing for titles and thumbnails. So every once in a while, I'll just give the YouTube algorithm what it wants and a more YouTube style, title, not necessarily thumbnails. I try and keep all my thumbnails in my style. And Matt did the shock face for audio listeners. But it's been a handy tool for me to kind of like basically have an assistant. And this would never replace a person, but I also can't afford to hire an assistant right now. Like, it's just not something in the books, let alone my company's not set up for that. Like, it's if I was to hire somebody, I'd need to provide health insurance and all that stuff. Like, I wouldn't want to be one of those people that like, I'm going to give you a minimum wage and you can work for a big YouTuber and just completely get ripped off the whole time because you get to work for a YouTube. No, I wouldn't want to do that. But but my company's not set up for that. So Claude has basically been my assistant and kind of a lot of like my sounding board. Like I can talk to it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it gives me suggestions and I ignore its suggestions because I don't like them. But it gets my brain thinking on other things.
Yep, that makes sense. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to kind of talk where we're at. I will say, I don't think you necessarily have to follow these things. I think if you do not like them, you can still be a part of the tech community and just not be into this stuff. But for me, it's hard to ignore, and it is the new exciting thing for me. And I hope we figure out the issues with it so that it can be a less controversial thing in the future. But it seems everything will be controversial. So
I think there'll be a balance found. I think eventually,
I hope so.
You can kind of already see a lot of people walking back the line of like, this is going to radicalize everything. And really, it's just like, oh, this is going to be a really helpful tool for people to get their stuff done. And and that's kind of what I've always said is what it's going to come down to is the venture capitalist AI bubble will burst. The tools will get bought up by big AI companies, or not big AI, big tech companies and other companies. And these will just end up becoming assistants to people and not necessarily replacing people because there will always need to be humans involved.
Yep. Sweet. Awesome.
Cool.
Niléane, we look forward to your feedback, which I'm sure will be, you guys nailed it. We'll see.
Oh, she's raging right now. She is red hot.
Okay.
All right.
Take us into the physical world.
Yes. So I wanted to talk with you because you and I have both gotten into 3D printing in the last few months. And I thought it would be interesting for us to do a sort of beginner's guide to 3D printing. I've had a lot of people ask me questions about 3D printing. And I did some research in between you getting your 3D printer and me getting my 3D printer, and it answered some questions, but it didn't answer all the questions. So I put some stuff in our document, and I figured you and I can kind of just walk our way through this and kind of just answer, some general questions as to, why you want to get into 3D printing, and if you do get into it, what should you do?
Nice.
So I think the first thing we should start with is why should you even care about it? Like, why should you even be interested in 3D printing? For me, I've been like fixing things around the house. I've printed some stuff. We'll get into like some filament stuff later, but I bought some heavy duty filament, so I was able to fix a few things that needed to support some weight and stuff like that. And it's been really nice just being able to like see a problem and find a solution, come up with a solution, and a few hours later, literally have that solution in my hand and go and implement it.
Yes. I'm so glad you said that. That is exactly the thing that I like the most. Well, I'm sure we'll get to it more later, but that is exactly the thing. You see a problem, and in a lot of cases, you can solve that problem very quickly.
Like for perfect example, I'm going to fix this problem a little later today. In our closet, on Danielle's side of our closet, she has a lot more clothes than me. And we have these wooden bars that you hang the clothes from, and it's missing one of the supports that goes from the wall to that bar. Well, I have the correct filament that's going to support weight. So I'm literally, after we're done, I already have the model ready to go. I literally just haven't hit print yet. After we're done recording, I'm going to hit print that out, and I'm going to go install that in our closet.
Nice.
So that way, because the bar is literally dropping right now. Like, it's literally like you see it kind of bowing, which is not good.
It's not great. It's not great.
Yeah, it's not great, Bob. But other stuff, like I've been organizing my office. I've been talking about this in videos and on the channel. Like, my office has been a disaster for a long time. I've had stuff shoved in every corner. It looks good in videos because I purposely don't point my camera at that, but it has been just physically driving me nuts to the point where I've been implementing Gridfinity, and we'll put a video about what Gridfinity is in the show notes, but we've also talked about it. But Gridfinity is kind of the system for organizing things, to where you can put print out boxes and custom shadow boxes and things like that, so stuff goes in it. And you know what? I've printed all this stuff, and I now actually have more storage than what I did before, because before stuff was shoved in drawers and it wasn't, put in there optimally. And now stuff is kind of optimized for space, and I have extra space now for more stuff. I've also thrown out a bunch of stuff and given away a bunch of stuff, but I have more space now, and I don't feel as cluttered. It's really nice.
Just to add on to that, my wife is a tech skeptic. Whenever there's new tech in the house, she's like, "Why did you buy this? Is this going to be worth it?" This is very often her feedback. And in fairness, sometimes she is correct. But I've been working on our kitchen drawers. So I don't use a lot of drawers in my office, so I haven't been Gridfinity in here. But in our kitchen drawers, we have junk drawers. We have the drawer you put the spoons and the measuring stuff and the can opener and all that. And so I started Gridfinity in one of them, the junk drawer. I thought it went great. And she was like, "You could just order these on Amazon." So she ordered some bins from Amazon to put in the drawer. And she got so frustrated that they weren't sized right, that they were okay, but they were just too generic. They were just too generic, and she was like, "Okay, do the thing with this one now." and so we have great fitting drawers in there now. So it is really nice to just be able to get things into your drawers specifically that fit perfectly. That's really, really valuable and really, really cool.
Yeah, I had probably those same Amazon bins your wife ordered in my office here before I had a 3D printer, and they sucked. They didn't fit right. I wasn't able to fit everything I needed into them. Some were too big, some were too small. It sucked. Now everything is perfect, and it takes up less space, so I'm able to fit more in those drawers. It's fantastic. But the last thing, I've been printing stuff for other people. So, for example, my brother has this big water bottle, but in his truck, the cup holders are too small for his big water bottle. So I printed an adapter for his cup holders to put his water bottle in. I printed an Apple Watch charger for Danielle. I printed, she's an optometrist. I printed these business card holders that are glasses. I printed a bunch for her so she could give them to other optometrists too. But the model for those, because that was a model she found online, it was way too big. So I was able to go in and modify that model and shrink it. If we would have just bought those off Etsy, it would have been too big and unusable. So I bought it, or I printed the first one out. We realized it was too big. And so I went in, modified it, dropped it by 30%, and it works perfect now. And we have a family friend who they live far away from their parents, and they have kids, so they like to FaceTime their parents, the grandparents, and they didn't really have a good way of holding up their phone for that, and they have a Dalmatian, so I 3D printed them an iPhone stand that is a Dalmatian, And yeah, like it's perfect for them. So like that, there's just things you can do to help people out. Like I'm going to be printing a bunch of organization stuff for my dad here soon and for his shop. And yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great. My wife she's a teacher, and so she has water with her because she's talking all day, needs a water bottle. And so she has a bunch of Stanleys. It was a problem for a little bit. We've got it under control, but we have a lot of Stanleys. So there's a lot of straws. And the straw container we had was like this box, this little container thing. It sucked. It was a pain every single day. I started screaming 2 days ago because they started to like fall out. It was a horrible thing. And I was like, I'm fixing this now. And I found this like really great pen holder that works great as a straw holder. And it's so nice. And I got it up in there, and now all my problems are gone. It's so nice to just like have these things. And I hadn't printed anything in a few weeks. Like that, you get kind of the 3D printing fever when you first get the printer, and you're like, I'm going to print every day for the rest of my life. And then you kind of realize you don't need infinite plastic in your house. But it is really, really nice in those situations where you do get frustrated with something. You're like, can't this be any better? You feel like you're in a infomercial. Is there no solution to this problem? There often is.
You know what this has really replaced for me? Buying those $10 to $30 items off Amazon that like, oh, I need this thing to fix this small problem.
Yeah.
And like that's what this has replaced for me is I've like I was just looking at my Amazon orders for something we'll get to a little later. I have not bought that much off Amazon or the web in the last few weeks because I'm not needing like these small things to fix problems anymore.
Nice.
I'm just printing them. Which sounds like I have a lot of problems, but I do have a lot of stuff to fix around the house. Like we've had a kind of a disaster. So, but I want to talk about like what printers should people look at, and I think you and I are going to have similar recommendations of look at Bamboo Labs first as the company that you should look at.
Only look at Bamboo, yes.
Yeah,
honestly.
I've looked at others. I've read reviews on others, and a lot of others are very fiddly. They're like it's literally Android versus iPhone. You have other options if you want to get really precise and really fiddly and really, but like if you want something that just works pretty much right out of the box and will do all the calibration automatically for you you want to go Bamboo Labs. And for me, I think like the printer I would recommend is the one I have is the A1. Because you get the full size print bed, but it's not very much money. You can get them for under $300.
Yeah, the A1 is probably good. I have the A1 Mini just because it was stupid cheap. And it's mostly fine, but every once in a while you do run into things you want to print and it's like, it actually doesn't fit on the board.
Yeah, I see a lot of models of like, hey, this one works for all these printers. Oh, and here's this A1 Mini version where you're going to have to print multiple parts and then assemble it yourself.
Yeah, so that is a little annoying, but yeah.
Yeah. Hey, if you don't mind spending the extra, it's usually less than $100, the difference between the A1 Mini and A1. Like, I would probably go with the A1. If you're wanting to spend a little bit more money, probably look at the P2S. This is the one I'm gonna upgrade to, like, because I know I will eventually upgrade. This one's a full enclosure one. It has a few more features and things like that. It has a bit more control and stuff like that. It's the price jump is much higher, but like if money's not an object for you, that is the way you should go. Yeah,
I would recommend the A1 or the A1 Mini to prove if you actually would get use out of it. And then once you start pushing up against those limits, the P2S or PS2, can't be the PS2, the P2S.
No, P2S.
P2S.
Yeah, I know.
That is, I think, the clear upgrade one. That's what I would go with if I ever felt I needed to do more. But honestly, I'm pretty happy with the Mini. Like, it's all small things I have to fix, but like I do think it is a very viable thing. And like you said, the thing I've heard other people on like YouTube who are more into 3D printing, the way they've described it is basically the Bamboo ones are for people who want to print things and they don't want 3D printing to be a hobby. They just want it to be a tool that just works out of the box. Genuinely, you don't have to level the board. You don't have to do any vibration compensation. It all just happens on its own. Like I would be useless with one of these other printers because I have no idea how to do those things because it just, you turn it on, it does that automatically for you. And the Maker World app and everything, the Bamboo Handy app is so useful for just finding things and printing them and monitoring them and getting live activities on your phone. It's very nice.
Yeah. We should mention, if you do go with the Bamboo Labs one, you have to go in. They have a live activity, so you can monitor your prints in real time. But you have to go into, you tap the Me tab, you go to Settings, you go to Notification Settings, and you go to I think it's General Services. I don't know. It's somewhere in there under notifications. You have to go in there and you have to enable live activities. It's not enabled by default, which is annoying.
It's crazy. I had no idea this was a thing. Chris, you sent a screenshot of your live activity, and I was like, "How?"
Yeah. I you know what? I was literally like, there has to be a way to enable live activity. I was thinking like some third-party app or something like that. I was asking Claude, and Claude came back with, "Oh, here, go into the app and do this." And I was like, "Oh my god, really? Why is this not enabled by default?" And then the nice thing is if you're on Mac OS, you can get the live activity in your menu bar that way too.
Oh, yeah.
For me, my printer's right next to me, but yeah. The other thing I want to mention is when you go to buy a printer, if you're interested in doing multicolor stuff, buy the AMS with it right away. So the AMS is this ability to have 4 different spools of filament, and we'll get into what filament is in just a second, but 4 different spools of filament, which actually we should just explain what it is. The filament is the plastic spools, so what you're printing with. So think about it as like the ink cartridges for a 2D printer, but it's the plastic for the filament. The AMS, without the AMS, you can print with one spool. So you can swap out that spool. You can print one color at a time or one type of filament at a time. With the AMS, what you can do is you can have multiple colors, you can have multiple types of filament, or what you can do is you can have backup rolls of filament. So say I'm printing with PLA black, and that PLA black runs out, but I have another roll of PLA black on there, it can just roll over to that second roll and then start printing with that. The reason why I say if you're interested at all in that, buy it at that point is because buying the AMS is incredibly hard. So I want the AMS. I've been trying to buy the AMS since I got my printer on Christmas Day. It has been in stock twice. I've set up the email notifications twice. Every time I get the email notifications, it's immediately sold out. I cannot get it. And you can't just click the buy button. It just says out of stock, will be available in March. And who knows? So I'm just like stuck without it. I'm stuck just printing one roll. If I would have got it, this was a Christmas present, so like whatever. But like, for example, if I would have ordered this and bought it with the AMS, it would have taken a little bit longer to show up, but you have the option of ordering it with the AMS right then and there. I really wish I would have had the AMS.
I think it's a lot cheaper if you buy it bundled as well. You're probably going to save like over $100, I think, if you do it that way. I regret it as well. I got mine without the AMS because just the price point was too good at that point.
Yeah, same.
It took it a little outside of the impulse purchase territory for me, so I didn't get it, but I do regret it because it is a pain. It's not the end of the world. It takes like 2 minutes, but it is, for me, I have to go out to the garage. It has to heat up, and you pull it out, and you put the new one in, and if you've got the wrong color in there and you want to print something, you're just like, ugh. So I think if you have any intention of sticking with this for a while, you will almost certainly want to print several colors. You'll probably have black and white and then some fun colors. And it's a pain not to have it. And again, the app makes it very easy to say, I want you to print in this color, or if the model has multiple colors, it can handle those for you. But even if you're just going to print single color, it's so much nicer not to, imagine if your printer, like your 2D printer, you had to go in and put the cyan in instead of the yellow. Like it would be crazy. It would be so annoying. So,
just like having a backup for like when you run out of filament for that. Cause like right now I'm like looking at my filament thing. I'm like, am I going to have enough for this print? Am I going to have to change it midway? Which means I have to be home and like, I have to like monitor, like, it's like, I want that AMS so bad. I'm like considering buying like one off eBay or something just to like be able to get one. But yeah, I really wish I would have got it. But we should get into the different kinds of filament. So, like I said, filament is the plastic, and it comes on spools, and you can buy filament from Bamboo Labs, or you can buy it from other third-party things. It's not like HP printers where you have to buy HP ink for it. Like, pretty much, there's different types of filament, but we'll take PLA, for example, which PLA is the most basic type of filament. You can buy it from, like, a company called eSun and use that. I've just been buying filament from Bamboo Labs. One, if you buy it in bulk, it's really cheap. Two, they have these reusable plastic spools that are really nice. So I'm not getting like a bunch of extra plastic or cardboard being wasted. I can just reuse these plastic spools that are really handy and they're really easy to use. Plus, if you do get the AMS, they have these QR codes or these code things on the side where the AMS will automatically be able to read exactly what kind of filament it is and will adjust the settings for your printer automatically, which is really nice. But so I mostly print PLA, and PLA is really nice because it's easy to print with. It's pretty forgiving. Like you're gonna get good quality prints with it pretty much every time. It has a really wide color selection. PLA is the one that like you might see like there's like transparent PLA, there's wood PLA, there's glow in the dark PLA, but glow in the dark PLA requires a special nozzle, which is called a hot end. So you need the hardened steel one, not the stainless steel one. You need the hardened steel one, which I do have those now, so I can print glow in the dark. But yeah, it's nice. It's also biodegradable, which I just found out. It's corn based.
Okay.
So if you're worried about like are you harming? It's biodegradable. So it's kind of nice. The only downside with PLA is it's not waterproof and it's not heat resistant. So anything above like 60 degrees Celsius it's going to start to get it to warp, and I think like it's not great there. But there's a ton of stuff going on there. And then you could get into things like PLA Tough or PLA Plus. And this is what I'm using to fix stuff around the house. So like PLA Tough it's strong, so it'll support a lot of weight. Like as long as your model is designed correctly, because again, like you're building models for this, as long as your model's designed correctly, PLA Tough will probably support just about anything you can throw at it.
Nice.
And then the only other one, I don't have experience with this one, but I am kind of curious about this, is PETG or PETG. And this is what's good for like outdoor stuff and heat resistant stuff. This is what I should have printed my brother's cup holder in, because come summertime, that thing's probably going to melt. So I'll probably have to redo that for him. But that was literally like within my first week of printing, so I didn't know any better. But it's also like impact resistant. So like if you need something that's durable, that's what the PETG stuff is for.
Okay, nice. You're much deeper in this than I am. I am just using PLA standard, and I'm using it for everything.
Have you gotten into like PLA matte?
No, I haven't tried that.
Okay, it's actually quite nice. So I've printed a few things. Actually, here I could show. I just printed some coasters for my office, and it's a 2-part thing. Let me see if I can block my face. There you go. So it's a 2-part thing. So it's PLA matte black and then PLA this dark green, and it's really nice. Like it finishes really well. So if you are having something that's more for display, I would try the matte style finish.
Okay.
But it's a little more brittle. So if it's anything that needs to support weight, I wouldn't use PLA matte for.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. I've bought a lot of filament lately. I have a lot of different colors. In fact, I'm at the point where I'm printing storage for my filament. I'm that guy now.
Oh, you've
I'm
gotten to
literally
that
using
point.
my filament to print storage for my filament.
Okay. That's good. I think it's good. It's healthy.
It's fun. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I also have some recommendations. If you do go down this, you should probably keep some extra parts on hand. Lubricant for all the axes, so for all the sliding bits and stuff like that. I would order some extra hot ends or nozzles because I've already broke one. And it sucked because I broke it and it was the only one I had. So I had to wait a week before I can start printing again for that thing to show up. Bamboo Labs is weird. Like Some of the stuff you will get next day. Some of the stuff will take a week. Some of it will be sold out for months. So this is why I'd say just have some extra parts on hand, and then maybe have an extra bed, like the Surface thing. What is that called? Why am I blanking on that?
The print bed?
Yeah, the print bed. I would have an extra one of those just to be on the safe side.
Okay.
And if you have issues with adhesion to your print bed, so like if you're printing stuff and it's not sticking to the print bed like it should, go and take like Dawn dish soap and hot water and just rub it all over it and clean it properly, and then use paper towels, not a towel, like not a fabric towel, but a paper towel, and wipe it off. That should fix your adhesion issue. That's the most common issue I see people complaining about.
Yes, I have definitely had that issue a few times before and got it sorted. So it was all good.
Yeah. Clean your print beds. You can also just flip it over too, because there's two sides, but
True.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, where do you get your models from? Have you made any models? Are you
I have not made any models myself yet. I have almost exclusively used Maker World. I have used what is it, Printables?
Yeah,
I think.
Printables, and Thangs is the other big one too.
Yes,
Thangs. I like Thangs.
But yeah, it just prints 3D models, right? So if it's a 3D model, you can get it into the app and print it. But I find Maker World tends to have the things that I want, and on a few occasions, like you mentioned, like the Mini is weird, I have made adjustments to a couple models to make them work exactly for me.
Nice.
And I've just been doing that in Blender.
You're doing it in Blender.
I'm doing
wow.
it in Blender.
Nice.
What are you doing it in?
I've been using Shaper 3D on the iPad to make a few things.
That's right.
I'll just jump into the next section right here. If you're going to make anything or modify anything, get a good calipers. And I put a link in the show notes. I don't know if Matt, you have a recommendation, but to a really good caliper. And I'm really happy I got good ones, because I've seen issues with anyways, I've been watching a lot of videos. But I made just a couple of things that are very, 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 very basic. But mostly I'll take models and modify them. And it works out pretty well. It's a very open hobby, and that's what I enjoy about this is everything seems to be open. None of it seems to be locked down. Bamboo Labs, like the hardware is the thing that seems to be the most locked down. Like when I was having issues with my hot end and it broke, I was like, oh man, the one from Bamboo Labs is going to take a week to get here. Is there any I can order off Amazon and just use that temporarily? Nope. They're all proprietary from Bamboo Labs. So, is what it is. But yeah. I mean, we're coming from the Apple world. We're used to it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
The other thing I put in the show notes is there's an all-in-one toolkit that I bought that has been super handy. It has like scrapers and pliers and things to clean out the hot end, files, like all sorts of just like really handy tools to have on hand. Just like a really like kind of a grab bag. It's not very much. I think it's $27. So it was just kind of like a handy grab bag of tools to have that I just keep next to my 3D printer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Another thing I really like is there's kind of this assumption that you will solve your own problems with the printer. So like as an example, when it changes colors, for example, or when it's starting a print, it kind of sometimes will have to like clear out the nozzle, and it'll like do this thing where it like shoots off a little bit of plastic off to the side.
Oh no, we need to call it what it is. It's poop.
It's poop.
It's poop. It's called poop.
And so on the A1 Mini, I think the A1 is the same. It just shoots it off onto your whatever surface the thing is on. Like it's just going to be just all over your desk or table or wherever you have it, which is annoying. And so there's a million different designs of people who have built their own poop catchers that you can put on there.
For video viewers, here's my poop chute.
One.
It's quite full right now too.
Yeah, look at
I
that.
also throw like the supports and stuff in
Okay.
here too.
Okay.
But like, yeah, this right here for video viewers, that's poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm holding up poop. Title.
But it's great. And then there's like, I assume yours is the same. Mine came with like a little razor blade that
Yes.
you can use to kind of scrape things off if you need to, because you're not supposed to use your fingers if you can avoid it. And it's not easy to use that way. It's probably not safe to use that way either. But you can just print a little holder for it that goes around it, and it's really cool. I do like the kind of scrappy nature of it. It's a cool little thing.
I've read and heard multiple times that you shouldn't use like the metal razor blades. So I've actually printed, hang on one second, a plastic one for me to use. And I like this just to get stuff off because like one things that it'll do, and I'm sure yours is the same way, is it prints like a little line of filament before it actually starts to print. So I use this for that, so I'm not scratching the print bed. And then if I need help getting the print off of it, because sometimes it'll stick, I'll use this. But most of the time, by the way, if your print is stuck and you're having a hard time getting it off, just wait a couple minutes. It'll pop off, or you can just pick up the plate and you can bend it a little bit, and it'll pop right off. So, but yeah, I love the scrappy nature of it. Like I printed tools for my tools.
Mm-hmm. That's great. That's cool.
Yeah. And I printed places for my tools. So like I really like this hobby. I think for me, like this is kind of been my thing that I've been really getting into, and I've been talking about it a lot, both here and on the channel. And I think it's a great utility to have around the house if you're the kind of person that likes to solve problems.
Yes. Yeah. And it's very different. It's very fun to just have a hobby, a tech hobby that's also like in the physical world.
Yeah. And like there's a sense of accomplishment, especially when you modify a print or make your own. There's like this sense of accomplishment of being able to like implement it and put it into action. All right. Well, that's it. Do you have anything else you want to add about 3D printing?
No. It's a great time to jump in.
Yeah. Honestly, like an A1 is not very much money. Like if you like, I remember when 3D printers came out and they were thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars. And I was like, I'll never be able to get one of these. Like I'm interested in it, but I'll never be able to get one of these.
Yep.
And it's both come down in price and accessibility to the point where like, if you don't know how to make a 3D object, you really don't need to worry about it. You just go into the Bamboo Handy app. And if you're not really sure, just go to MakerWorld. We'll put a link in the show notes. We'll put a link to MakerWorld. And literally anything that's on MakerWorld, if you get a Bamboo printer, you can just select it and just hit print, and like there's no like you don't really need to modify the file at all if you don't want to.
And again, just because they're 3D models, even if you go with a different brand, you can still go there to browse and just download the file, and you can print in another printer.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, this is normally where we would have the challenge, but we're postponing the challenge until Niléane is back because the challenge was Matt's, and it was make something with some of the new Apple Creator Studio apps. And I think it would be more fun if all three of us were here for that, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So I think we'll wrap up the show here, but I have an end of the show question for you, Matt. And I made it really specific to you and me because it's just the two of us. How are you feeling about the new F1 cars? And do you think there is a team that is going to dominate this year?
It's always F1 when it's just the two of us, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're in the off season. I need a fix.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting. I don't know who's going to be dominant. There's obviously a lot of rumors that the Mercedes engine is really locked into a loophole. As of recording, there's news out today that possibly that loophole is going to be closed like by the second race. So we'll see. But to be determined. I don't know. I find F1 fans are quick to jump on, oh, they're going to be so dominant. It's going to be a blowout. And I don't know. I'm a relatively newer fan, I guess. I've only been at this for like 6-7 years now. And so I don't know. But I think it's going to be exciting. I am excited about the new cars. I know they don't seem that much smaller on paper, but from what like we've seen, they do seem meaningfully smaller.
Yeah.
And Some of the stuff like they're talking about with them being a little tougher to drive, you're not gonna you're gonna potentially have to like lift and coast on quali laps, which is not a thing.
Whoa, I haven't heard
Esteban
that.
Ocon said this, like with the way the energy
Whoa.
system works, you may not have enough energy to do a whole lap. So anyway, I think that is interesting and could make it a little just a little different from how it is now. And that's what the rule changes are supposed to do. So I don't know. I guess my money would be on Mercedes to be very successful this year, but I don't know. McLaren could repeat. Red Bull could be doing better than we expect.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think Red Bull finally has a second driver that will be able to keep up. Plus, Red Bull has Ford in their corner this year.
Oh, yeah.
And Red Bull's pretty much gotten rid of all of the problematic people, so I don't feel terrible rooting for them this year because they got Ford now.
Yeah.
Am I a Red Bull fan now?
Get Helmut out of there, and maybe it's
they got Helmut, they got Christian out of there. They just need to ban Max's dad, and I think it'll be fine. I like as Isaac Hadjar. I think he's a nice guy.
He had a great season too. He's really good.
He had a great season.
That said, Yuki Tsunoda, great driver, was having a great season, and then it's a cursed second seat. But maybe the new regulations, new team boss, maybe it'll change this year.
Yeah, I think it could be interesting. The rumors that Mercedes is going to dominate with their engines is really interesting. If they close that loophole, which would be weird because that would mean they would have to rebuild their engine? Would that count against the cost cap? Oh, that's weird. I'm curious what Ferrari does. It sounds like a lot of teams walked away from the previous generation cars. Not a lot of teams. A few teams walked away from the previous generation cars early, so that they could really work on these new regulation cars. So I'm really curious. I'm excited for it to finally start up. I didn't watch any of the preseason shakedown testing yet.
Same.
I did see a couple of clips, and the engines sound really good. They sound a lot better than the previous engines.
Okay.
The previous engines were so high pitched. They're V6 hybrid engines, turbocharged hybrid engines. So technically, the engine in my Mustang is a bigger engine than the engine that's in the Formula One car. But they produce more horsepower. The Formula One ones produce more horsepower because it's their hybrid and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But I really wish they would go to like V8s or V10s.
I don't think they ever will again.
I really wish they would. They need a bigger, louder sounding engine.
Maybe they'll just get like a speaker in the back, a couple home pods in there that'll make the speaker sound.
Do the thing that stupid electric cars do. It's like, oh, we just put out artificial sound. Ugh.
Do they do that anymore? Is that a thing?
They do. Teslas still do it. Yeah. These stupid Teslas, waste of metal. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Yeah. So that's it for the show. Thank you all so much for listening. Big thank you to Mac Stories for having us. We're a Mac Stories podcast after all. Be sure to go check out the website and all the other writings and stuff. They've been doing a lot over there with the new update and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot happening. Thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day.
Bye.